Alright guys, it's me, the Tycoon, coming back to you with another review. And this is of Terminator Zero Season 1 overview. Let's get into this. This series has been widely anticipated for all Terminator fans who are out there who have been disappointed by, Genesis and Dark Fate, maybe even Salvation as well. But let's face it, the Terminator series needed a massive shot in the arm, and I was one of the guys that said, look, it needs to go back to what its roots are. A little bit of horror, a little bit of suspense, tension, and a decent storyline that tries to stop Judgment Day. You know, did this series deliver? And then some. This series is rated 100% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes and it's set in a brand new setting. It's not Los Angeles, it's not America, it's Japan. And it's brought a new spin to the Terminator franchise because of the way how they've done it. Yes, it's borrowed slightly more heavily from some of the other influences which are out there, but like Matrix and things like that. But having said that, this series was phenomenal. It's set really well. Each episode is well done. Yes, it will have a little bit of exposition along the way. There are characters that you're gonna feel, I want to punch that guy so hard, and that kind of thing, because of the. I'll go into that in slightly more detail shortly. But the series had it all. It had decent action. It had a good storyline, suspense, brilliant plot twist, and more importantly, you know, you cared for a lot of the characters that were in this. It was good. It had some good callbacks, and because it's set in Japan and done in anime fashion, they didn't hold back on a lot of things, and I think you guys will thoroughly enjoy that part as well, especially recapturing the police station scene from the 1984 Terminator, but set in Japan, with the weapons that they had in 1997. So this series is quite interesting the way they done it, because it's set across 2 to 3 different time zones. It's set in 1997. It's set in 2022 and in 2035 at one point as well, and you'll see why 2035 comes along the way. But in 2022, a warrior, a fire is sent back into the past again, to prevent, Judgment Day. Who are they seeing? This person's now Malcolm Lee in Japan. Why? Because a new system is being brought online that will help to aid Skynet called Kokoro. And it's done really well, because while that's taking place in 1997, Malcolm Lee, who designed Kokoro, the artificial intelligence system in Japan, decided, look, to bring it online to stop Skynet and fight it, because he didn't want Judgment Day to take place. And he actually does it one day before Judgment Day takes place. And can he stop Judgment Day? At the same time, a Terminator is sent back into the past, again, to stop Malcolm Lee from either bringing Kokoro online, or from, because Kokoro could potentially stand against Skynet. So it's quite fascinating how they've done this. A rival system to take on Skynet and its dominance. They've done it from a philosophy of Japan versus USA, where USA takes on the Skynet the worst of human traits, yeehaw, bang, 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 to Japan being a bit more, we're a bit more, we learned our lesson from the Second World War, and war is not the right way, this is the right way, peace and love and all the rest, and some of the wonderful traits that human beings have got, we love that. So do we fight for humanity, or do we let humanity get snuffed out? So there's an existential crisis that's also taking place at the same time to justify, if humanity is worth saving or not. And it's quite interesting with the plot twists that happen along the way. Needless to say, the voice acting is still very good, but what they've also brought in full effect in this is the horror factor that Terminator actually had. You don't know who the Terminator is, was the best way of putting it. And because it's an infiltration unit, and you see that in the future, that it's an infiltration unit, it gets into places and then just goes out systematically destroying every person in its path. And it doesn't care whether it's man, woman, or even child. Its mission is kill all humans, and it does it extremely well. You see that in the opening first 6 minutes of Terminator Zero, and you also see that in before during the time travel session during the time travel scene, with its other main character, Eco, who comes back from the past to fight in the future. And there's a lot of stuff that's going on. Because again, is it fate? Is everything predestined? Is it predetermined? Is it all written down and you can't change it no matter what you do? Well, funnily enough, no, because they even brought about the whole John Connor thing, saying that he's one of many saviors that have been out there. Just John Connor was the most popular savior. But having said that, there were saviors all over the planet, and it's not just that the Terminator went back in 1984. The Terminators have been going back consistently, and they have been stopped, and new timelines have come about because of it. And this is what this is driven to show, that there are new timelines now. I'm really, really just excited for what they've done with Terminator Zero. Yes, will you say there's a bit of wokeness? Is it all female centric? The way how they've done it. I keep saying because that is the flavor of the last 6 years has been the wokeness stuff. But this isn't woke. You will see the focus on female centric characters, but the reality is they're fighting to save humanity, and it's done extremely well. I can't rate this series highly enough. It had it all, and it went back and rejigged the Terminator franchise, and it's given it the shot in the arm that it's been needing for such a long time, because the US market had, I don't know what the USA had done. They'd lost everything. They'd lost the edge. They couldn't write a good storyline. They couldn't bring about, they kept on trying to rehash Terminator 2. This isn't Terminator 2. This is completely different, and it's its own franchise, own storyline, and it tied in the future war extremely well with the battle for, does humanity really need to go, or does it need to stay? And at the same time, bringing in another artificial intelligence, which is likely to happen, because everything's so US focused, but people forget about Europe, people forget about Africa, people forget about Asia, and yes, Russia did launch the nukes as well, but this is the world, and this has been explored extremely well. So, I will strongly recommend that you get out there. If you got a Netflix subscription, watch it. You won't be disappointed. Each episode's half an hour long, so you can get through it. You can binge watch it in a day or two, and it is really well done. You will enjoy it. So, whichever platform you're watching this on, whether it's on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, wherever it is, give me a like, give me a follow. Let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, if you don't know how to do that, then you don't need to go back to school. So says the tycoon. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun.